Teafling is alone again. Not for long, of course. He always could go see Fantasy or Arabin now, but something stops him. His code whirs with danger. Unseen, but it leaves Teafling with an artificial anxiousness. He finds himself walking circles around the island's border. Aben continues to mutter ways to calm him.
Take a deep breath. Have you tried taking a hot bath? How about a warm glass of milk?
It's like a spiral in his brain, but it appears to have the opposite effect.
Aben, just shut up for a minute.
Aben doesn't respond, just quickly disconnects, leaving a void where the voice once was. This clears up that space, now able to focus more on that danger sense. This doesn't make any sense. It's him sensing his murderous intentions, but not from him. The source is a person hovering a few kilometers away from the shore, just past the barriers that protect their home.
Finally, some attention.
Persephone's voice coos, feminine in demeanor but masculine in strength.
I've been looking for you, Teafling. I assume you know what I've come for?
Teafling scoffs.
Oh yeah, I have an idea. The same reason why you sent that coward of a husband to kill Riva. Oh, don't say that. He's your husband too, you know. You're using my soul. I have nothing to do with you. How did you find this place anyway? What do you think?
Percy says, tapping the side of his temple.
You share my soul. Those reused eyes of yours make amazing spy glasses.
If Teafling had a heart, it would have sunk. Teafling clenched his fists. Circling through the anti-murder program Arabin had installed for him, his mind was calming, but his body felt like it was on fire. Percy pouts the lack of a response, but a smile slowly peels across their bone-white skin.
How about this? Enough with the chatter. I'll just come inside and take it for myself, and we can consider this chapter done.
Percy reaches out a single hand, slowly pressing a finger against the invisible barriers that are keeping them out. They push and push, lightning flashes against their arm, but they grimace through it. First a finger, then two, then the whole palm as they cry out in pain. And keep pushing. One of the beacons flickers for just a moment. Percy gasps in relief. The moment is cut short by the following sound of breaking bone. Teafling's mechanical body is flying through the barrier, and his fists connect so neatly against Percy's pointed face. Percy isn't disappointed. As they begin to cackle, their body begins to restore itself with a single beat of their skeletal wings. A strange energy kept them elevated over the deep ocean beneath them. Teafling doesn't have such skill. As he descended from the punch, his feet came into careful contact with the top of the water. He stands there in this wild grace, like a hare in shallow water.
Is this what you wanted? A fight? Well, in all honesty, I have been looking for an excuse to practice. So I suppose it will do.
Percy says so coolly, but their expression they wear is of pure, childish excitement. Percy's wings flap again and a long staff appears in one of their hands. It looks like an oar made of bone and obsidian, its tip damp with a dark violet liquid. But to Teafling's surprise, it isn't withering. Percy's wings beat again. Two skeletal arms rip through the water as they slowly climb their way out from the inky abyss. Swords in hand, they steady their aim and charge at Teafling. Teafling doesn't have time to think much longer as he shifts his posture. Dodging one swipe, he raises his hand and chops the spine of the creature. There's a loud snapping noise as its form entirely falls apart and begins to sink into the water below. With his other hand, Teafling reaches out, grabbing the other skeleton's skull in his hand, crushing it until it is nothing more than dust. As the skeleton's body begins to sink into the water, curiosity briefly covers Teafling's expression.
No withering. What did you think? Did you really expect me to fight with humanity's weapon? Please, I'm beyond that.
Percy's voice echoes as they come in swinging with their oar, bashing Teafling upside the head. But he doesn't regenerate like Percy. His vision flickers for a moment as he reels back and grabs his head, still trying to stay above the water. Percy's body glides over with lightning speed, going in for another hit, but Teafling reaches up, grabbing the oar before it can hit him. From behind, a scythe presses down on Teafling, tearing into his shoulder. Teafling looks up to see who it is, only to see Draw. Confusion floods Teafling's mind, but no matter what, this is still his enemy. With one kick, he knocks her down, leaving her to slide back over the water. She pushes herself back up with ease using the scythe. But Teafling is faster, ready to kick the horseman down again. As Draw crashes onto her back, Teafling leans over, his fist ready to knock her out. But again, Draw is no more. Just below, Isaac lies, His nose bloody, but he smiles up to Teafling. And somewhere deep inside Teafling, his soul strikes in pain.
What?
Teafling whispered, his eyes looking over him. This couldn't be real. This isn't him. It's good to see you again, Teef. Isaac croaks as he raises a hand. Suddenly a blast of magic knocks Teafling back, allowing Isaac II to right himself back up to his side. Close behind him, a fluttering lab coat, the worst of them, Trashy, crawls up alongside Isaac and extends his hand, helping him to his feet.
Aben, I need you to scan. Tell me I'm seeing things.
Teafling begged in a whisper, but there was no response, just his head, just the realization that even if he did look for a pulse, neither of these two would have one. All his upgraded parts, and he couldn't even use them.
What's that?
Trashy chuckles, listening to the panic build in Teafling's voice.
Did our robot friend finally grow a conscience? Too bad it's for the wrong side.
He chuckles as he spins the withered sickle in his hand. Teafling goes to block it, but Trashy is faster. The curved blade slashing into his side, Teef lets out a cry of pain as he shoves Trashy back. Trashy's laugh begins to echo as he snaps his fingers. And the water beneath Teafling begins to turn black and bubble. Teef goes to jump back, but the explosion is too big, catching his body completely in the cold water and thick bits of blackened sand. Withering, Teafling thought at first. The guilt of letting them bring it so close to the tomb filled his mind as he began to sink deep beneath the waves. But as his body began to be consumed by the cold waves, there was a small feeling of peace and a notable lack of pain. Burning, withering. Teafling's hand ran over the scar in his side. It hadn't opened up more than a scratch. Trashy's weapon wasn't withered. This is sand surrounding him. It isn't withering. Percy's playing tricks on him. This is all an illusion. The realization filled him with confidence, and with one big kick, Teafling shot back up. Targeting the first darkened form he saw, pow! Quick uppercut to the jaw. But it's not Isaac or Trashy or Draw. The tan cloak and red fabric of Jegg, stumbling backwards, a crossbow loaded at her side.
Teafling, stop!
She begs, the weapon now drawn, pointed right at Teafling's chest. Teafling doesn't react and dashes forward. The arrow lodges into his shoulder and evaporates quickly as it hits. Jegg screams as Teafling grabs her neck. And with a swift movement, snaps her neck, leaving only a dry gargle where her scream was. In his hands, the body begins to melt, transformed into a bloated, drowned corpse. Of course it wasn't real. It never was. But still stalking behind him are the 4 horsemen, weapons drawn.
If Arabin can do it, fuck it. Let me try.
Teafling chuckles, leaning into a classic brawler pose, his fist over his face as he teetered on his toes, finding the perfect balance as the horsemen descended onto him. First Trevere stepping forward. At his side is a long obsidian trident sparkling with the fleeting heat of the hells. He swiftly wipes towards the water, a wave of obsidian sand crashing between them, but Teafling drives straight through it, his fist connecting with the long staff of the weapon. Trevere blocking it and knocking him back, but he doesn't give up. Pushing off the falling waves, Teafling bounces back, the sharp edges of the trident catching on his pant leg as Teafling rushes and grabs his head before snapping it all the way around. The body falls, but before he can catch a breath, a quick, sickly creature yanks him, exposing his chest as Draw comes soaring forward, her scythe aiming for Teafling's center. In a panic, he rolls onto his stomach against the cold water. Cakebird, who is grappling him, doesn't even let out a gasp as the scythe cuts him off instead. But Draw doesn't give up as she goes for the next swing. She kicks Teafling back over and away from the bloated corpse. But as she strikes, Teafling catches the blade, struggling to keep her back. Shoving her back, he launches onto her, taking the scythe from her hand and spinning the blade, pushing it down from her shoulder to her hip. Draw then falls. One left. Trashy. His laugh echoes over the water, unbothered, confident, the only way to beat him. Brute force. Teafling's body crackles with lightning and a clash of thunder appears before Trashy's smug face. The blow sends waves over the waters, and Trashy's body slowly falls back, smiling ever so slightly. It's not until Teafling looks down that he notices the sickle lodged into his stomach. As Trashy falls, he takes it with him, leaving Teafling wincing in pain as the plastic panel is torn from his frame. The fight only lasted for a handful of seconds. Teafling's joints begin to ache as he is battered over and over one by one, scythes, tridents, and sickles. It was never a fair fight. But by the stroke of luck, one by one, the bodies of the horsemen fell, transforming into the bloated corpses of the drowned.
You know the ocean has claimed more bodies than you or I could count. I could do this all day.
Percy cooed, sat atop their oar like a witch's broom hovering over the water.
And what? You're just gonna sit there till you kill me?
Tiefling snarls back.
I was planning on it. But honestly, this seems just a bit sad. You just barely held your own against my mimics. I wonder how you'd do against the real ones. Against the real horsemen, I wouldn't be alone.
Tiefling says, beaming with confidence, with holes and wounds in their plastic shell. But as their eyes glow with determination to kick this slender twink's ass. Percy's smile turns into a laugh as they plop back down onto the ocean.
That's adorable. You really do sound human. At least I don't sound like you.
Percy's laugh immediately stopped. The two who share a soul now stand face to face. They've lived different lives, loved different people. The only thing that made them the same was that rock in their chest. Percy bites their lip, exhaling.
I guess you're right.
They grip the oar, leaning against it for the first time. Exhaustion flashed over her face and their pale, sunken skin.
Oh, to be human. It's a gift I could give back. What? If the world doesn't end, let's make a deal. I will make you mortal. And once your fragile life ends, you return it to me.
Tiefling's body freezes. A memory flashes in his mind. Riva, living, dying, and he smiles.
Sure, but what makes you think I want that?
Percy's grin returns.
Would you rather end up like him?
The illusion of Erebin arises next to Percy. Tiefling's body freezes. The sinking chill of truth runs through him.
That's right. I know you, Teafling. And I know what you truly desire. And I know you want nothing more than to die.
Percy coos, leaning into Teafling, their faces inches apart.
But not in a blaze of glory, or by yours or someone else's hand. You want to meet death in the way humans do. To ride the river of life. To have true peace. You don't.
Tiefling stutters, trying to step back, clutching his wound tightly as bits of blue energy drip into the ocean.
I know, because it's what I want too. But humanity took that opportunity from me to make you.
Percy reaches out, gently touching Tiefling's hand. It's cold, yet the intention almost feels warm. The two stand in silence, Tiefling looking up into Percy's eyes.
Why are you offering this to me?
Percy shrugs as she steps back away from Teafling.
Pity, I guess. Just consider my offer, alright? I'll be seeing you again very soon.
They wave their oar in front of them, dipping their dark tip into the water. And almost as suddenly as they appeared, they vanished, sinking into the cold water beneath them. Tiefling sighed in relief before they almost began to sink. Percy's spell wore off, and Tiefling remembered he can't swim.